Hey budgeteers, it's time to reflect again. I love being able to do this every single week, and I honestly started this because I felt like weeks like this were coming. This week has been extremely high pressure, highly intense for me. Knowing that my daughter was going into surgery, knowing that expenses were coming, knowing that life's hard sometimes is really enough to just send you over the edge. I know that budgeting is difficult from time to time, and there are times when you just want to go on a vacation more than anything. I can't tell you how much time I have spent looking at different vacations and just planning things and making multiple vacations in my head, knowing that I could maybe take one of them, which we'll talk about in a later video here that we may actually get to go through. But just I plan more than that. I want more to be happening. I want it to just continue to flow for me and feel good that I can feel free from what's going on. So knowing that I had prepared and planned for this surgery that happened, and that the HSA is in place, and that our health insurance will take care of things, there's still that doubt, there's still that fear there, and there's also that feeling when you've just spent a whole bunch of money and you put it all into this account, and you have to drain that account for whatever reason. It's draining on your soul. If you've ever had one of those emergencies where your car breaks down, or you have to dip into that emergency fund of yours, it doesn't matter if it's in place or not, it still kind of breaks your soul. It takes you down because you have prepared and planned for that, and you had it all together, and it took you time and it took energy to build that, and now it's all gone. So if you turned around and had something else happen or occur, you don't have that there anymore for just a small moment. Or a long moment, depending on how quickly you can get back on your feet. And luckily, when it comes to health insurance, the deductible is basically now covered, and anything that comes through from here on out will be a lot smaller, which is really good. There is still a chance that something else really big could come along, but hey, let's hope that doesn't happen. This week has really been tough on me, and I started to feel it at work. I started to feel it in my home life, the balance of everything that's going on. It really frustrated me, and it got me to a point where I was a little bit down on myself, a little bit down on the budget, and not down that I'm not doing it right or that I don't want to help others, but just down in the fact that I want to start spending money, and I want to go out and basically help myself feel better. Now, I've had this problem for a long time when it comes to weight loss and eating as well, where I can do really, really well, and I can eat well, and I can exercise, and I can lose a lot of weight. In fact, I'm going to brag a little bit here, but I used to weigh a lot more. I'm currently down about 50 pounds from my maximum weight that I've ever weighed before. And I have been down 21 and a half pounds more than I am right now at my low point. So obviously I'm on a rise. I'm not where I need to be, but I feel like I try really hard at times on there, and then when life gets hard and depressing, I go and I turn to food and I eat it, and I love it until I don't love it anymore, and then it starts to make me feel bad that I've done that. And budgeting's the exact same way. I've gotten a lot of questions this week from people about using credit cards instead of cash, and I've had lots of conversations with lots of you out there that are trying to start your budget but feel like your budget isn't big enough. You don't make enough money to cover what you're currently doing, and the moment you put that into the spreadsheet, it just breaks you right there. You don't want to move forward because you don't want to change a lifestyle that you've already built around you. I just want to let you know I've been there, and I am still there. In fact, I mean, even though I make it look like my budget is always balancing out, which it is, it's a lot of discipline, and it makes me question why I'm doing it sometimes. I want to just get on an airplane with my wife and fly across the world and travel and explore and do whatever I want all the time. But it always can't be that way. And then I look at my employer sometimes and wonder, why don't I make more here? Why don't I have more coming in? Why am I with this employer? I do like my job, but you have to ask yourself that from time to time and make sure that you're in the right place and doing what you love to do. Luckily, I love finance. I love financial analysis, and I love working in Excel. If you can't tell, my budget spreadsheet is my pride and joy. I love it. Everything that I do in Excel just makes me thrilled. So I'm going a little over here. I know typically I keep these around 5 minutes, and I'm sure I'm over that now. But I want to let you know that I'm there with you. I want more out of life, and I'm always striving for more. And I hope that the budget doesn't discourage you, but it shows you that there's always something more to push towards. And there will be those times when you're feeling depressed and you go to the freezer and you open it up and find the ice cream in there or whatever it may be. And I'm talking on a metaphorical standpoint because we're talking budgets here, but there will be those days. And when you go out and you have to swipe that credit card because you want to go and eat out, don't just think because you swiped that credit card that you are now bad on your budget. You can turn it right around. And in fact, you can plan that right back in backwards and say, well, how do we make that work now and move forward from here? Don't ever let the small things get in your way. I promise you it's not worth it. It's time to just always move forward and always keep going wherever you can be. And I have those days, and they're here right now. I'm really having a hard time with life in general around me as I'm just stressed out about the money situation of how things are going out. And it can be bothersome, and it can hurt in your relationships and with those people around you when they see that you have enough money to cover things, but you're still worried about it because they don't want to see themselves as not having enough, but you portray yourself that way because you're feeling down and beaten down in that moment. I guess take life for what it is. That's always been my philosophy, and if I had one thing that is my key belief and phrasing in everything I do budgeting, it's that you're only as poor as you believe you are. And that's something that I live by every single day. So knowing that everything just happened today and the birthdays have all started to pass and everything is still in check for me lets me know that I'm only as poor as I think I am. And I could feel bad about the fact that I couldn't buy better popsicles or for my daughter, or that I couldn't buy better birthday presents for my kids. Or I can just look at it and say, they have plenty and they're blessed and lucky to be here, and that they have a good family, and I love them. I love my family so much. So take that to heart. You're only as poor as you believe you are. So today, believe you're rich. And don't go out and spend, but just believe that what you do is your best. And go out and keep living that way. I'm going to do it too. Thanks for supporting me, Budgeteers. I appreciate having you here. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already a fellow Budgeteer with us. And if you need the budget template or any budgeting advice, feel free to head over to my website and contact me. I am always happy to help with any questions you have. Thanks again, Budgeteers. We'll see you next time.